Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to another moment of Elena WTF moments. I was wondering, could we take a minute here just to admire Cappuccino, my dog? Say hi! Good boy, Cappuccino. What is Cappuccino? He's a really good boy. Alright everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 and 2, First Day of Rule and My Sister. Let's get right into it now, and I hope you all enjoy this movie. In the kingdom old and grand, Elena, a princess bravely rules the land. Elena, with her family by her side, it's a wild and daring ride. Elena, Elena of Avalor. Alright guys, so this movie starts off with Elena's recap of the last WTF moment I did. So, anyway, she tells us all about the story that I told you all about last time. The link to that is in the description down below. Anyway, she says, so, she was telling them all the story, and we get back to part where Sophia was reading the book, and she says, so as you see, my story wasn't over. It was just beginning. Again, because she says every story has a beginning, except hers. It has two. So, you know, her story, like she said, wasn't over. It was just beginning. Again. So, anyways, we get into the intro and then the show after the intro, and then it's pretty cool actually. The episode it's about Elena waking up, and you know it's showing us how everything's working out. The Jacquins are back on the flag, plus Elena can see her spirit guide Zuzo. So I'm wondering why can Sophia do it? The thing is, unless someone says Illuminara Alakazar YOL, a wizard, you can't see them. So why can Elena? Zuzo says she can get help from spirit animal whenever she wants, but the reason she can see him is because when she is in the amulet for 41 years, whose fault was that? Alakazar and Zuzo. Anyway, she took some of the magic with her. So, Elena has magic inside of her. It was a Disney princess. It was bound to happen, right? So anyways, he said, I got some spirit wisdom for you right now. If you don't get downstairs, you're going to be late for breakfast. That's not spirit wisdom, but she goes downstairs and tries to get Isabel and gives her a journal. Because, you know, she's an inventor. So they go downstairs racing for breakfast, and that cousin that was working with her goes, racing to a palace, this is no way for princesses to behave. I don't like this guy sometimes, I really don't. Isabel says, don't worry, cousin, after tonight Elena's gonna become queen. Unfortunately, Esteban looks through the laws. She can't become queen until she reaches age 20, she's age 16 right now. So Francisco says, you need to pick 4 members to be on the Grand Council. And she said, wait, I have to get permission to rule? That's messed up, I agree. But he said, not exactly. It's like having a group of advisors to approve all your major decisions. Translation, yes, Elena has to get permission to rule, which is messed up, man. And she said, I'm ready to rule now. And Francisco says, this I know you're still a teenager. You think you're ready. But ruling a kingdom is not so simple. And that reminds Francisco of a story like always, so he has to sing the song. There once was a king who had loved his dear crown. He frantically searched for it all over town. Alas, he did not hear them shout as his band of everyone saying it was right on his head. So he thought he was ready to rule, but he still had some learning to do. If you listen out more than you speak, you will soon gain the wisdom you seek. And Elena has to jump in, of course, too. I fully intend to take your great advice, but the years I've spent watching my dad should suffice to teach me the things that I need to have down, like how to know when I am wearing a crown. So I agree, Elena is smart in some ways, but she's still a teenager. I know exactly what she's going through. I'm 19. So she decides to meet with all the city leaders. And when she gets to Harbor Master says all the stuff he needs. Like, he needs all this good stuff to run the ship better. And she also meets her royal guard, Lieutenant Gabe Gabriel Nunez. But she can just call him Gabe. So anyways, it was his first day being the royal guard. So, while she's talking to Harbor Master, his daughter, Naomi Turner, remember her, she's important, comes up and says, Dad, our ship was stolen. It was the 3rd ship stolen the whole day. So Elena said, I'll lead the search. And she said, you really understand? But no, Elena. You said you want to meet with the rulers of the city, and you must meet with Doña Paloma. Who's he to say this? He ain't on the council. He ain't nothing yet. He's a chancellor. Sometimes, I think Esteban wants to rule the kingdom behind Elena's back. Just sometimes, not all the time. I'm probably overthinking this, but this is the point of this episode, to be overthinking things. So anyways, she said, I'll be back after I meet with Doña Paloma. This already sounds like a bad day, man. But Isabel wants to finish sketching the ship, so Gabe stays with her. And then Gabe said, what was it like when your sister battled that sorceress? She wasn't there, all of Avalor was there when she did it. She grabbed the wand and snaps it in half. Isabel says, weird. He says, weird. What was weird about it? What was weird was that Shiriki kept herself young for 41 years and no one had managed to do this before. That's what was weird about it, if you want my opinion on that. Then she says, no, not that. Dogs are boarding a ship. They look nothing like Epicure. They're purple. So she said, let's go investigate. And they're weird little creatures who tie up Gabe and Isabel and take another ship. And you can see Naomi Turner sees it and runs off. And Doña Paloma is not a good woman. She goes, I want this and that, and then she is so nitpicky and wants this and that and this and that, and says, that's a long list, I know, but we can discuss the rest of it tonight at the Royal Ball. There's more? This woman's a creep, man. Pass it on. So Naomi comes up and says, another ship was stolen. Someone says, young lady, and says, and your sister's on. Isabel, they took Isabel? And someone said, I will alert the Navy right away. Higgins, alert the Navy. Esteban's just telling people what to do. He's an asshole. Pass it on. So anyways, we get into the show with Naomi and Elena getting on the Jacquins. Skylar. Naomi was a little worried. So they get on the Jacquins and they find nothing. They just know what the Noblins are, what they look like. They blow the big gust of wind. So they go to Mateo, the wizard that lives in his mom's basement. Well, he doesn't live down there, but he practices magic down there. That's his workshop at the moment. Man, Shiriki screwed up some people's life. He really did. So anyways, he was there with Naomi and Elena, and then she says, what's with the bathrobe? Mateo is a wizard. He goes, in training. Naomi says, since when? Since always, just had to keep it a secret before, because of Shiriki's rule. You know, it's like I said before, Shiriki's... But more on that later. So they find out that the creatures are actually called Noblins, and they stole their ships. So they go to get them back, and it was a big battle. Elena had to escape while everyone else got captured. And Zero said, do you have time for wisdom? Said, hurry! And said, why are you rushing around? Because they're in trouble. No, I mean, why have you been rushing around all day? She wants to prove she's a good queen. Gotta do that quickly before the ball tonight, but she's forgetting to act like one. So she thought she was ready to rule, but she still has some learning to do. So, she's now ready to learn, and she stops to think, why did Noblins take the ships? They were imprisoned by Shiriki the sorceress. That's so... She wanted them to use the golden touch to turn all kinds of objects into gold to make her rich. I think Shiriki's crazy. You got the treasury right there. It's enough. But then, one day, bars of prison vanished. They vanished. Wonder what happened. Anybody recall Elena snapping the wand in half? So they're freed because Elena defeated Shiriki, and Jiko was upset. He had no idea. And Elena knew they need the ships to take them home. The agreement is to take the ship home, but they get them back afterwards. So they go to Pueblo de Oro, the city of gold. And then Esteban says, what was I supposed to do? She just took off on the Jacquin! He didn't say, Elena is gonna be a great ruler or something. He never says that. We'll get into that a couple years from now. Probably in 2025. So anyways, they get on to the ball. And Elena says, today, I set out to be a great ruler. How'd that work out for you? She said, and it appears I have a lot of learning to do. With that in mind, I want to appoint my Grand Council. She picked her grandmother Luisa. Naomi Turner, I told you she was going to be important. She said, You kept giving me great advice and wouldn't stop giving me a take it. And Chancellor said like, and Chancellor said was, and says, I would be foolish not to seek your expertise. And last but most certainly not least, my grandfather Francisco, the wisest person I know. He said, today, you acted like a true queen. She said, someday, I hope to be one. She said, but, for right now, as Crown Princess, I swear to govern the people of Avalor. They said, may I please present Crown Princess Elena of Avalor? And when Armando hands her the scepter, it lights up. And she goes, is it supposed to do that? And Francisco says, it's never glowed like that before. Really, Francisco? But, with that all taken care of, we're going to jump right into our next episode. Elena, Season 1, Episode 2, Mal's Sister. So, after the intro, it says Mal's Sister, so they jump right into it. With Elena being Crown Princess. Pink or purple? For what? Roses or tulips? Both. She took purple and says both. I'm going to ask first, what's it for? The royal visit? Valeria Marno says, I need you to sign this for tomorrow's royal visit. Then said, is everyone ready for a meeting? What meeting? You don't know? You're chief of the castle. What do you mean you don't know what meeting? Says, the Grand Council meeting we have every morning? He says, oh, that's every morning? You work there. You live there. You should know that. And she said, starting today. He said, probably should add that to my schedule. So she uses a pen, and then Isabel's knocking on the door. Or doing something in there. The Presto Changer. Changes, put your clothes on for you. Man, where can I buy the Presto Changer at? So, we jump right into the episode with, Elena and the Grand Council meeting. And someone goes, the Grand Council meeting will now come to order. Francisco says, Esteban, not for the Crown Princess to do that. He goes, oh yes, what was I thinking? She says, the Grand Council meeting will now come to order. And someone goes, hey, I tell you, I don't trust this dude. So, they know King Toshi from the Kingdom of Zatu is visiting them. Pretty cool. So, anyways, Luisa says she's going to make tamales, and Francisco's going to play one of his favorite Avaloran songs. And Esteban goes, no, this is King Toshi's first time to Avalor. We need to show him that we understand his ways. What? It's his first time. If I went to, a kingdom for a first time and I was visiting it, and you show me how you do how I do things, I'm going to be very offended. No. They said, if it is first time here, we'd like to see how we do things here? He said, but unfortunately, I've been to Zatu several times, and he would like the way we do things here, or do things there. And then Francisco says, if Esteban is right, we cannot afford to offend King Toshi. That'd be offending me, but okay. So they said, are we going to learn the ways? He says, well, I'm very busy. They said, but if the point is to do things their way, we shall know them. He said, yes, but like I said, I'm incredibly busy. Private Higgins, Esteban's best friend of the guard, says, actually, you're free all afternoon, Chancellor. Thank you, Higgins. He didn't want to do it from the get-go. So anyways, they get off, into it and everything, and they're learning their ways. Elena is trying to learn to use the chopsticks, to eat. Like they do in Satu. Ding! There it goes. And someone says, don't worry, if you cannot get on your first try. It took me years and years to master this. Wait, I think I got it. He goes, hi. That's hard, I think, to use chopsticks. So he says, don't worry, Elena, you still have a few hours before King Toshi arrives. Whoa, wait, few hours? In the beginning of this exact episode, didn't Armando say, I need you to sign this for the royal visit tomorrow? Today? He said, well, I left it there early. I told you. You would not tell any of us. So Elena's got to go to the invention to help Isabel set up. Is she going to ignore that? And then Esteban says, I'm sorry. And Isabel runs off crying. Esteban makes little girls cry. Pass it on. So Elena says, I'll go help Isabel set up and be right back. And says, pack up and get going. Said, I thought you didn't have time for me. Said, Issa, I always have time for you. Things may be different now, since I became crown princess. The one thing will always remain, you mean more than all the rest. And even though I must rule, I promise you from the start, I'll always make time for you, because you are in my heart. Sister, sister, sister time, off we go without delay. Sister, sister, sister time, it's the best part of my day. By your side I always stay. And I just put one of the WTF moments, since Elena would not sign nothing during this song. And the end of the guards, Lieutenant Gabriel Nunez and Lieutenant Rico Villalobos are just like, they pretend like they're not doing nothing. So, when they get to the invention theater, Elena sees King Toshi arriving, and she tries to hurry and breaks Isabella's invention, you dumbass! And she's like, I can fix how you see my twist hook. Oh, I left it back at the palace. The palace! I'll go grab it and meet King Toshi. Yeah, and someone says, no, someone Gabe says, oh, no need, I'll grab him and be right back. No, I know where he is, it's blue, right? Red, with flat handle, round, got it. They're not gonna make it in time. Skylar says, hey, I raced you to Paris, Princess, and she said, how about we race that coach? He says, okay, but there's no time to stop. So to jump on 3, he says 1, and she jumps and he goes, I said on 3. She said, I don't have time for 2 or 3, go. So she grabs a twist hook, gets dressed quickly, and is there. Estelle says, King, she goes, Toshi! Apparently made it, if you ask me. So she's there, and Gabe fixes the machine by punching it. But there's something else broken, so they need to fix it. And she goes, what's taking Elena so long? This is your scene room, drawing room, and then this is the painting room, drawing room, scene room, which is a perfect place to sit and take a nap. You must be exhausted after your journey. He said, thank you. I'm not tired at all. And someone goes, Elena, there are no siestas in Satu. So now he's making this his tour. And Naomi walks in, went home real quick. And she grabs her and says, I need your help. They changed clothes. Elena's got brown, long hair. Naomi's got short, blonde hair. Elena's skin is tan. Naomi's is white. No one's gonna notice this. And so not with this hood over your face and not with this hood over your hair and this fan covering your face, if I can't see anything. Good, that means I won't be able to see you. You better hurry. So she's doing everything possible, and they're not gonna wait for Naomi. Rude, she's right there. And someone goes, Elena, why don't you show King Toshi your chopstick skills? And she says, impressive. But this morning, my granddaughter is a fast learner. And Luisa goes, she knows something's up. So she brings me back the twist hook and says, I gotta go. I said, where are you going? To get a drink. Want one? And she said, no. And of course Gabe says, ooh, I'll take an horchata. I would too, they're pretty good. If you haven't tried one, you should. And just so you know, Avalor is a city in Spain, not Mexico. Some people might think it's Mexico, but it's actually a city in Spain. Look up. I'll leave the link in the description down below to look up Avalor. So they go and back to the palace, and she changes clothes and pretends that she's really her. But Luisa found out that it was Naomi and told her what's wrong with Isabel and said, she's having trouble with her invention? Okay, go, I'll cover for you. Just be back before someone's big surprise. But no more of this silly swapping. So when Isabel finds out Elena's been going back to the palace, she gets angry and tells her just to leave and go see King Toshi. Elena and Isabel. Bunch of little... They are. Crazy, man. So anyways, she tells King Toshi that she's back, and someone has the fans, the fluttering fans, and messes up horribly. And Luis says, I just tell me when it's over, Professor. He says, I can't, I'm not watching either. We can make him stop you. He says, no, I told Chancellor to show me my surprise. In Satu, it's very important to keep your surprises, no matter how painful they are to watch. And she said, promises are important in here in Avalor too, and I think we make great trade allies, but I'm sorry to do this. I made a promise to be at the invention there, my sister. And him is Royal Lighter Soldier. Thank you for hosting us, but we must leave. And someone says, oh, this is a diplomatic catastrophe. A man's clearly not ready for responsibility that comes with the crown. No, you're not. You're the one that messed up, and that's why he's leaving. I'd leave too, no matter what promise I made. And when they get to the invention there, Isabel's and Elena fix the presto changer together with a little sister time. And then Esteban is there with King Toshi. So King Toshi, I can explain your excellency. My trip was to experience the sights and sounds of Avalor, like I said. He said, and family is very important to me. That's why I traveled with my brother Soshi, which is not his royal advisor. It's his brother. So, that's why he's there with his brother. So in the end, they use the presto changer to get dressed, King Toshi and his brother Soshi, and eat tamales while Francisco plays one of his favorite Avaloran songs. Esteban is trying to eat tamales with chopsticks. And Toshi says, Chancellor Esteban, when Avalor, perhaps you should do it the Avaloran way and hands him a fork. Anyways, that's it for my WTF moments for Elena, episodes 1 and 2 of season 1, First April and Maul's sister. And remember, this is still a tribute to Ace Transmedium's channel, so go over there in the link below, show him a lot of love, use his code ACE to save money on G Fuel. But anyways, I'm Jordy, and I'll see you next time in Elena of Avalor WTF Moments Season 3, all heated up Season 1. Anyways, until next time, bye.